Hello everyone, with some spider gameplay for round 1. Yup, there's going to be 2 rounds in this video. Composer spawned bottom, so I start trying to make my way towards him, but as you can see, cheerleader started cheering for him. He got so much distance, I was never going to find him. So, I see cheerleader here, she spawned in middle, she's probably the tide. I use 1 web, then 2 web. She uses pom-pom, so I use my 3rd web, I pitch up, I hit. Really early first hit. It made Sia really mad for some reason, but that's okay. I look at the floor for my hunter's instinct, so I don't have to use my webs to get this close. And then I use double web here. Seer just does an owl. Because again, I guess he really just does not believe in this cheerleader. So I cheer on Seer Cypher, so guess what? He is gonna have to rescue. He can't keep pinging, don't rescue me. This does give him more owl, but I'm fine with that. He does pallet stun me here. Because, I guess, I try to shoot him, I can't, so I just blink on him to force early rescue. I use double web here so I can try and catch up. I can't get Seer here. Seer does spectate cheerleader now, but I do expect this, so I hold down the web button to try and bait it. I try to spit on the owl, I miss, but it's okay. I block her from getting to this window, so she has to use her pom-poms here. She throws down this pallet, but I know she shouldn't have a second pom-pom, so just 1 web should be enough to catch up, and it is. Seer is still mad, so I go to chair on Seer Cypher, but he does pop it in my face, which is sad. I see him there, then I go to break this pallet first. And I do see Composer in middle because he had picked up my webs. And I also see that Patient is decoding the Cypher machine far away. Composer started doing middle. Seer is right here for some reason, so I just chase him. Amazing kite from Seer, from someone who wants to be so mean. And still blames cheerleader for this. So that's amazing. I see Patient Cypher stop, so I know he's coming to rescue. I do get this chip on him, so I go back to chair. He keeps circling me, but chip is on cooldown. I do miss. I hit him, so Composer is going to be forced to rescue now. I place 1 web here, but I know he's going to throw this down, so I just shoot on him. And then he has web and his Seer bolting speed, so I just get this Terror Shock. Composer has to come in for this now, and Patient started that Cypher but then realized he does have to leave. The Cyphers are very close, but no one has tied. Composer has to get a pretty flawless rescue here. I decide to put 3 webs here so that I can have a lot of attack recovery for this camp. So instead of trying to bait it out like I did with Patient, I just go in for it. It's a farm, and then I just end up using Blink to down the Patient. That's Composer, I'm blind. Seer is still mad. I just cocoon Seer, and they just surrender. So that was match 1, and you'll see match 2 now. So here's the second match. As you'll notice, it's the same Composer from last game. In pre-match, he saw my bans. He knew it was me. He said it was gonna be Spider. So I said, you know what? Let's pull up with the Keegan. Let's show him I can play multiple characters. I'm not a one-trick. Clerk Supremacy can play Clerk. So I'm looking at the floor here for my Hunter's Instinct. He throws down this pallet. I moonwalk here, so he stays here, which he did. I get a free pallet recording, and I still get to keep my Hunter's Instinct for my 8% movement speed boost. I hear him use his tuning fork here. I record him once he gets close to the pallet, and then he's gonna have to get the pallet stun here. He doesn't. I start recording him. He does end up going for that. Sadly, I can't use that recording to lift up pallets, but I can use it to throw them in front of people. I could have played it in reverse so he couldn't vault it again, but I did have the pallet break recording, so I might as well just use that. I record little girl Cypher here. Thief already started pre-rotating for this rescue, which I'm a little confused by because Aeroplanist is the one with Tide. There I was spectating the Cypher to see if they were at the Cypher, but they weren't. I see Aeroplanist decoding. I didn't have any recording, so I was just inspecting his Cypher to get him to stop decoding. Seeing if I could bait little girl off. I don't. Thief's here. I somehow hit nothing there, which is good. Thief doesn't get the stun off. I try to hit him, but I don't. Composer has another tuning fork, so he gets distance. So I decide to use Warp here to cut him off from the better kiting area. And now Thief flywheels the hit, which just means Composer goes down, which I don't quite understand. And then I'm able to get basement here. Thief just started bottom broken Cypher. I hear Aeroplanist above me, and little girl started the one outside of church. Aeroplanist decides to just not rescue this because it's not quite worth it in this situation. Yes, we do have Tide, but someone's gonna go down there, and we really don't have the Cyphers to rescue, so I do understand. But again, as Keegan, this just means one person's decoding, which can be very bad. So he leaves. I do get my judgment here, which is slightly annoying, but it does allow me to catch up with Thief quicker, which is nice. Technically, all 3 Cyphers are started, but none of them are close enough. Thief plays flashlight there, so I decide to just vault this window to lock it off so he cannot loop this. He decides to go out into the open to stun me, which is understandable as Thief. I use Impulsive here to just get closer to him so that I can just hit him normally. Luckily, this Thief's aim wasn't the best, so I was able to get away with that. I chair onto this Cypher since it has progress, and then I go to try and record little girl, but she's learning, so she's getting off, so I just delay her Cypher even more with that. Aeroplanist decoding, but sadly it's not enough to stop her from popping the Cypher. She just forces it here, which I'm fine with because I can just use that on the middle Cypher to get rid of progress there. I just hit Aeroplanist here. He finally uses his Tide. Thief just goes down here. I record Aeroplanist here. I do give Thief some humps in the corner. I couldn't resist. Middle Cypher is about to pop, and Aeroplanist Cypher is around the halfway mark. Again, doesn't really matter, but it's fine. So I decide to abnormal this Cypher, and little girl left middle Cypher primed, which actually is really bad, because then I go and abnormal it from across the map. I hit little girl here to just force the rescue. I know Thief has Flywheel and little girl has Page, but luckily he gets pushed into the wall and he doesn't Flywheel. Little girl does get her Flywheel off, but she's not able to pop the middle Cypher anymore because I did abnormal it. And so now I think I just use my recordings on that middle Cypher, since that one I know is way closer than Aeroplanist's. I don't have a window vault recording anymore since I did get rid of it for my abnormal recording, so I record little girl here. I meant to record Aeroplanist, but accidentally did a hit recording, so I just use it on little girl here. I downed her, and I'm pretty sure they surrender here because they know it's over. Yeah, but those were the two videos. No hate to this composer. Obviously, if you see the same hunter with very recognizable bands, you're gonna know it's them, so I understand calling it out. But I just like showing off that I do have diversity when it comes to my hunter pool, except when it comes to meta. But I hope you enjoyed this video with 2 matches. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and bye!